move us about 10 more degrees to the right. There's a part of me that is thinking of landing at particular airports and then actually, quote unquote, renting a helicopter, virtual helicopter, of course, from those airports and seeing if we can see various landmarks. Because largely, part of the issue here was speed. But it's interesting to take a look at some things if we're speeding past them at 260 knots. And we're coming up at the bay. I'll have to try to make sure that Lucas doesn't knock us out of the air. That would be embarrassing, having the cat knock you out of the air. Alright, so the whole point here is to be able to figure out where you're going or what you're seeing in the air as you're going over things, and that's not easy. It really isn't easy. It really isn't easy in the simulator, and it's not easy in real life either, interestingly enough. So this is Scituate here, and the beach around Scituate. You can see one of our windmills right here. They're dotted all over the bay. There we go. Let's get a little deeper here. That's a little bit too deep. Oh, Lucas did something. Yeah, he knocked the autopilot off. Okay. There we go. It's a little bit better. You can see Lucas knocked the autopilot off. I put it back on, and we're coming back to this blue reticule. Yeah. And let's turn a little bit to the right. Again, we're following the coastline. And there's our beginning view of Boston. There we go. Probably actually wouldn't be able to actually do this in real life if we were going over Boston like this. Having said that, I'm honestly not too sure about that because there are actually air traffic routes that go right through Boston and the Back Bay over Somerville, etc., that are low down, almost at building height, at least in this area where the financial district is, and they're labeled as helicopter routes, but regular general aviation planes running VFR as we are can use them as well. So there is, right here is where the trains get put in. This, of course, is the Charles River. There's the Prudential Building here. Route 90 is right here. There's the Harvard Bridge. There's Logan Airport right here. This is my home area at this point right here. Alright, we're gonna turn a good bit, start following the coast again. There we go. It's amazing how it juts out. Really going east here because I wanted to make sure we go over Gloucester. This little spit of land here that is just connected by a single road here. Can't quite remember what the darn thing is called. But this here that we're passing over is the town of Lynn. town of Salem right here. That's Salem, Massachusetts, not Salem, New Hampshire. Start moving back in a bit. Gloucester, right ahead of us here. Yep, Buddha, you're right. That is Nahant. You're absolutely right. It's actually extremely embarrassing that you know the geography better than I do. It really is amazing to me. Lived here 15 plus years now, and I'm still learning the geography. And I get that as an amateur radio operator all the time, having to route traffic in and around the area. It's still easier for me to do that in New York, central New York, than it still is in Massachusetts. But I can walk across 3 towns in an afternoon easily here, between Cambridge, Somerville, Boston, Charleston, Dorchester. I could just walk easily in a single afternoon right through those 3 towns. You can't do that in central New York. There we go. Good old Gloucester right here. Let's get an outside view of this. Part of me really loves the realism of the cockpit, but I can't doubt that this is really, really beautiful as well. Back in the cockpit to see where we're going. We're sort of headed out here, and we need to turn back in. So we're going to turn to the north. There we go. So put our little blue reticule to the north. Really hug this coastline. Gloucester does jut out there a good bit, doesn't it? So now, trying to prove that I know a little bit more about the geography. This area here is called Cape Ann, which is the cape above Boston and Massachusetts Bay. So you can see we're going to be going up here. Boston Tower is now online, but we've passed that by. This here, if I'm correct, is Plum Island, right here. And I'm honestly taking that from the FAA sectional chart. I don't know that just by seeing it. And moving our heading so we keep to the coast. Set it to north again.